Library Board meeting to order at 6:02. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Julie, please call the roll.
Michelle Ginn. Here. Mary Humber. Emma Markarian.
Here.
Allison McFadden-Kiesling.
Here.
Steve Molson.
Here.
Marilyn Pomeroy.
Here.
Kay Robertson.
Here.
Julie Meredith here.
Thank you. I'll accept a motion for the approval of the agenda.
I move we approve for tonight.
I second it.
Any comments, questions? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion is approved. Let's have the call to the public. We have two members of the public tonight. Joan, nice to see you.
Can I speak?
This is your turn, yes.
Okay, I'm Joan Patterson. I'm president of the Optimist Club, and I'm here to present what you already have, the check for $1,125. The Optimist this year, our mission is to support kids, and we went out to the community asking for programs that kind of fit with our mission. And we got a great proposal from the library, and so that is where the money is going to, $300 for books and for 3 programs. And we were just really thrilled with all that you're doing for our kids and our community. And on top of the check, you thought, the check was all you're going to get? We really wanted to give you a plaque with our creed. And we just see so many of your programs just support what we do that we're so happy to have you as a partner. So, who gets it?
Thank you so
And thank you guys, thank you so much to
so
see this.
much.
We also want to invite you to the parade, July 4th. We want to ask groups that we partnered with to walk with us in the parade and show what we do for kids. So we will make sure there's a sign that actually publicizes what you guys are doing. And if we can have kids that will walk along, we'd like to have it mainly youth in our part of the parade.
Well, thank you so much. On behalf of the library board, we accept this. We're delighted. And we too are very fortunate to have summer programs for our students and children in the community. So thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
No, I got nothing tonight, thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Let's take a look at the consent agenda. We have 4 items. Is there any motion on approving the consent agenda tonight?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as
Is there a second? Mary seconds?
Yes.
All right. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, library director's report.
You have your reports in front of you. I'll go over the items that are on there. Establishment and transition of the library in that section. The installation of the new sign inserts for the library museum sign by the road was delayed due to weather. We were actually scheduled that week, but it rained like continuously the whole week. So we are waiting to be rescheduled. Just as a reminder, the Friends of the Library will be paying for the library's portion, and the Clarkson Community Historical Society will be paying for the museum portion. As you know, the Clarkson Independence District Library was one of 10 libraries in the country that was awarded the United for Libraries grant to receive advocacy training to better connect the library to the community. Library advocate Libby Post will be coming from New York to work with us for 3 days on Saturday, July 20th, Monday, July 22nd, and Tuesday, July 23rd. Any board members interested in participating in this library advocacy training opportunity, please let me know. I do have Nikki already signed up to do that. Our fiscal agents, Ron Traskos and Sharon Duckworth, have been hard at work on the process of transitioning the library's finances. The new financial software has been installed. Sharon has created the structure of the accounts and is setting up the general ledger upload between our new system and our ADP payroll service. Debbie Zielbrilla has been entering the vendors into the system, and Bill Bowman is working with the IT person at Post Smythe, Lutz, and Zeal to set up the remote connection. Ron has been coordinating with the Township Finance Director for a transfer of the library's financial information, and if this can happen on the planned schedule, then Sharon anticipates that our last accounts payable check run through the township will be June 26th. We will then do a small check run on July 3rd. Normally they're 2 weeks apart, but we'll do one week later just to test the new system. And if all goes well, we'll be running independently in early July. The setup for the MERS defined contribution 457 retirement plans for the library staff have been completed, including the final step, which was a plan for all retroactive contributions. I met with each full-time employee individually to explain this benefit and based on his or her specific situation as it relates to the retirement plan policy approved by the library board. Each employee received a spreadsheet illustrating this transition of this benefit from the township to the library and signed a document of understanding regarding the 2013 contribution schedule. Essentially what happened was we had the plan set up, but we didn't have the accounts where the money could land at the beginning of the year, so we have to go back and retroactively make those contributions, and the employees who are required to do a match need to do that as well. So we have it all scheduled, and everybody seems to be comfortable with what we came up with. So, in terms of building and grounds, the state has not yet come in to do the final inspection of the HVAC ductwork project. However, things seems to be functioning well from the library's perspective. That's the exact same sentence as that one. Still no news on that one. Loom Roofing, however, sent their project coordinator to meet with me regarding the water that was pooling near the 3 roof drains. Based on his thorough explanation of the method used to seal the roof around the drains, I'm satisfied that the library is watertight and that the warranty would cover any issues. The township has mailed the check for the final 10% of the project cost, which they were holding until they came to meet with me. Additional library projects, Bill Bowman has been working on the library's website. It is currently a Joomla design housed on a server at the library network known as TLN. The template we are currently using will stop being supported on July 1st, so Bill has set up a development site to allow him to transfer the content to a more updated template. This will allow us to test the links before he makes the site live in the next week or so. The patrons will not see a difference when this happens. However, Bill has been requesting proposals to have the website redesigned in the fall, including making it friendly for mobile devices. This is a project that the Friends Board has expressed an interest in funding as a fall wish list project. We're looking for a good price for that. In terms of Friends of the Library, the Friends of the Library sponsor the annual Teen Art Show, which will take place Friday, June 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. Just a reminder that that's coming up. And I am pleased to announce that the library has exceeded the goal to raise $5,000 in community donations toward the Friends Stock the Stacks campaign. We have received $5,365 in donations from the community. At their last meeting, or at their meeting last week, the Friends Board voted to increase their match from $5,000 to $7,000, so the additional dollars will be matched, and we would continue to match any donations that may still arrive. They do sometimes trickle in at the end. We will go ahead and begin purchasing the $10,730 in additional library materials that we have raised so far. So I wanted to say thank you to the community for their generosity in this program. It's been really successful. So it's been a great thing.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on the director's report? Okay, in that case, let's move to regular business. We have before us tonight a review and approval of part of the circulation policy for the library. So that item should be in everyone's packet.
Just a brief overview, we do have the first portion of the circulation policy. There will be additional pieces to the circulation policy to be reviewed, specifically the patron privacy policy, but because that portion will need to be reviewed by the attorney, we didn't want to hold up the entire discussion just for that piece. So if you want to take a look at this and let us know if there's anything in there you would like to change.
I have
Updated.
one note. Under patron eligibility policy, that's the first page, coming down to non-residents, I'm looking at TLN, the library network, and it says all TLN patrons may use IDPN, but we don't have a statement of what that stands for. So I think if we could just add that in parentheses,
Okay.
because we refer to it
Yep.
a couple more times, so.
That's our abbreviation code from the library network. Every library has a 4-digit abbreviation code, and that's what that is. And I think that the library staff put it in there, and because it's something that we use every day, we didn't even see it because we read right over the top of it. Oh yeah, that's right. So I will spell that out, thank you.
So I was looking down at loan limits, so if you are a resident of Independence Township, or you work here and you have this IDPN card,
Yep.
then you can check out 60 items at a time. Is that correct?
Okay.
Is it standard in public libraries, 6 digits?
Some libraries have no limits, some libraries have smaller limits, larger limits. We haven't had any complaints about it.
It just seems so large, actually.
Yeah.
I know, I'm trying to see how I would carry 60 items out of here.
If they were very small children's items, you
Maybe,
could
yeah.
probably do that.
What sometimes happens is you do
Over
sometimes,
the course of all at once or over the course of?
well, what happens is you sometimes get overlap where they'll check out a big stack of picture books to take home and then they bring them back and we haven't yet checked them in and they've already selected their next batch and they're checking out, so that's part of the reason it's a really high number. But the other thing is there are families that have one card that everybody shares in order for mom or dad to be able to keep track of everything. And so if you have 2 or 3 kids and everybody wants to take out materials, and so we were bumping up against that limit there for a while, so we raised it up. It's been this high for about the last 4 years, we think.
That's plenty of time to check how effective that
Yeah.
policy is.
It's very patron friendly.
Well, we got to the point where patrons were really sort of telling us that, you know, we want to take responsibility for our own. They wanted more, wanted to be able to take out more, and we decided we aren't really their parents, so if that's what they are willing to be responsible for, they sign on the back of their card stating they're financially responsible for them, so.
Okay, and I thought everything else looked to be. I didn't see any other questions.
Much of what's in here has been the policy for quite some time.
Right. Do we have a motion to approve the circulation policy as presented with this one addition?
I move that we approve the circulation policy as presented with the one addition.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the circulation policy as presented tonight. Any more questions or comments? If not, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The circulation policy as presented is approved. The next item is a discussion of the library credit card charge limit.
At last month's meeting, the library board approved the opening of a Visa card for the library through Oxford Bank. Paperwork has been completed and the cards have arrived. However, the credit limit is set at $15,000, which is significantly higher than what we had previously. Since the library's previous credit card charge limit was set at $4,000, this does seem quite high. We have the ability to contact the company and set the limit at a level that is appropriate for library function, yet is comfortable for the library board and the library director. Since the card is primarily used for making smaller purchases through local businesses, I would recommend $4,000 or $5,000, but it's whatever the library board is comfortable with.
Have we ever approached that cap?
Well, when I first got here, we had a $3,000 limit, and we did, after the economy was a little better, we sent a couple of our workers off to Syracuse, New York for training on our integrated library system, and they got there and got snowed in, and we hit the max, and they couldn't charge a hotel room. So we had to frantically call the bank and get the credit limit raised to $4,000. We have not bumped into $4,000 in the past.
So it seems it's mostly for local purchases.
It is, we use it for the occasional online purchase for summer reading program, supplies and things like that. But it is primarily for small purchases.
Anybody have a feeling, how's 5,000 sound?
I think it's reasonable. Yeah.
I think that's a good number.
I mean, prices of things keep going up, so I think it's probably wise, so we don't run into one of these situations again. All right, can we have a motion on that item?
I move that we approve the library's credit charge limit to be set at $5,000.
I second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we set the limit at $5,000 rather than $15,000. Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Okay, next, the roof.
The continuing saga of the roof.
Way to think about that.
That's always the roof.
This could almost be a joke.
Yes, right.
It's starting to feel a little bit that way. In 2005, the shingles on the library's roof were recalled, so the shingled portion of the roof was completely replaced. In 2012, the township funded the replacement of the Firestone rubber membrane on the flat portion of the roof and 18 inches up the 8-foot walls of the roof. And there is a diagram attached because I'm sure not all of you have been on the roof as many times as I have. Yeah, so, as Bloom Roofing Systems was finalizing the project to replace the rubber membrane on the flat portion of the library's roof, an inspector was sent to review the work for the purpose of validating the manufacturer's warranty. He expressed concern that the metal cap that protects the edge where the rubber membrane and the shingles meet around the perimeter of the building is extremely worn and is no longer securely attached. The long and short of it is, when they did the shingles, it was a recall, so they just did the shingles. When we brought in Bloom to do the rubber roof, they did the flat part and 18 inches up the wall. So no one is looking at this section up here. And essentially what it is this little metal cap. The rubber roof goes up the walls and up and over that little lip and then underneath the shingles. So he's saying the shingles are good, he's saying the rubber that is on the roof is good, but that cap that protects that edge has been pulled off, put on, it's all warped and mangled and bent. It's not securely attached. He had me climb up there and take a look at it. I'm getting quite familiar with it.
Pictures of this.
Well, after I got done off the ladder, I was like, I probably should have taken a picture, but I didn't think to do that. But anyway, so his primary concern is that winds could pull the metal cap away from the peak and blow the metal across the roof, causing significant damage to the brand new roofing membrane that I have been begging for 6 years. He recommends replacing the cap. Attached is a proposal from Bloom Roofing Systems to replace this cap for a cost of $3,360. Because this is not a budgeted maintenance item, it would be necessary to use fund balance to pay for this project. The cost does not include any shingle replacement, and he did say he thought the shingles looked pretty good, but as they pulled that off, if they were to find any damaged shingles, they would replace them as they go. While I have no reason to believe that he calls it in the proposal, a massive shingle replacement will be necessary. I would recommend capping the cost of this project at $4,000, slightly above the proposal, just in case there are some damaged shingles to be replaced. So there's a little bit of a cushion.
And my understanding is they're going to make it the same color as the...
Yeah, they would be using the same type of metal. It would be a brand new metal edge fabricated in the same way as the one that's there. It would be a coated metal matching the color that is existing. They would remove the metal that's currently up there and dispose of it off-site, so we don't have to worry about that. And they would inspect all of that waterproofing and the shingle tops
And then secure it.
and secure it. It's literally it's just a little metal. It's secured on the inside of the wall and up and over, and then it's supposed to be secured above the shingles. And it's not really secured on the outside. It's secured on the inside. So it's literally kind of a wind catch. I mean, you know, a big storm like what they may be predicting tonight could just catch it and just peel the whole thing off. So, yeah. I think this is the last little tidbit of the roof that could possibly be replaced. So.
Question, is this the entirety, as this goes around the
All
entire
four
thing?
sides, right?
When you go up on the library's roof, I like to describe it, you get to the top of the steps and there's a door, and when you step through the door, you're standing at the bottom of a swimming pool.
Mhm.
And so there are these sides that go up, and all you see from the ground is the shingles, and that's to hide the HVAC unit. So if you go up there, it's actually quite safe. You're standing at the bottom of an 8-foot swimming pool, you're not going to fall off. of the roof, which.
Unless you climb up
You'd have
to
to,
8 feet.
you'd have to climb, yeah. When I was looking at the metal lip, I was on top of the roof, up on a ladder, looking over the edge, but still, it was up to here on me, so I wasn't gonna fall off. But it is a metal, it goes the entire perimeter of the edge of the swimming pool.
Gotcha.
And so they would take all of that off and then replace it. So,
And since now the shingles that they replaced in 2005 are guaranteed for a certain amount of time.
this should have us pretty well covered for between 15 and 20 years. Each piece has its own, the shingles, I believe, are 20-year shingles, but that was some years ago, so we should be good for about 15 to 20 years, at least for one portion of the building.
All right. Do we have a motion about the replacement of this metal cap?
I move we approve the replacement of the metal cap on the library roof. Through Boone.
I'll second it.
Oh, yeah, for $4,000. Yeah, we should say
Oh, yeah, I see
$4,000.
that.
Spend the library some, yeah.
So it's been moved and seconded. Has it been seconded?
I'll second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we will replace the upper metal trim on the library roof for not more than $4,000 to be drawn from our fund balance. Any other questions or comments about this project? Okay, if not, those in favor of replacing this cap, please say aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion is passed. Thank you.
Hopefully this will be the last time we have to converse about the library's roof.
All right, the last item of business today is the library presentation that we plan to make tomorrow night to the Township Board of. And so Julie has prepared a brief, it's not really an overview, this is the presentation.
This is the presentation.
Quickly, a quick presentation, a quick look at the presentation.
Are we gonna be first, Julie?
We're on the presentation portion, so they'll do their consent agenda and the Pledge of Allegiance. The situation that you do have is that because you will be a quorum, I don't know if you'll all be there or not, but because there will be a quorum, that's why we've called a special meeting in conjunction with the Township Board, so there is a posting. You will need to call your meeting to order prior to their meeting, so that it will be official, and I will take notes, so there will be minutes. But essentially, it's for the purpose of making a presentation.
And before she does that, it would probably be good if we arrived or were there about 10 minutes to 7. So that then we could convene our meeting in the meeting room.
Prior to
And
them.
once we've made then we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance with them. We'll be doing that twice. And then we'll make our presentation, and then we shall adjourn to the back of those of you who've been there, to the back, there's a large lobby area through the door, so we don't disturb their meeting, and we can adjourn our meeting at that point.
Without interrupting their meeting.
And it doesn't have to be on camera.
And you can
It's a
get out
open
through
meeting.
Yeah, so that you don't have to stay for the whole meeting, and there's no need for you to stay for the whole thing, and you wouldn't need to adjourn after they adjourn. You can adjourn yours and
So if that's acceptable, that will be our plan.
Okay. And I do have a working agenda for each of you to take, so that you'll kind of know the order of events. It's a little bit out of order for a regular meeting, because you'll call it to order, you'll approve your agenda, and then you'll wait until they do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance with them. So I have something for you so that you'll be able to see that. Okay, so the presentation that was put together is information about the Clarkson Independence District Library, your gateway to discovering the world. Annual library usage, we circulated 295,899 items last year, answered 20,204 reference questions, served 37,546 computer and wireless users, and had 168,123 visits. We are a Class 5 library serving 35,563 residents in a 20,000 square foot building. So who are we? We went from being the Independence Township Library to being the Clarkson Independence District Library. Why? The law under which our library was established was repealed. We needed to reestablish under a current and valid law. The library is governed by a non-compensated library board that includes representatives from both the township and the city. So how do we compare? The Springfield Township Library, with a population of 13,940 residents and a millage rate of .9173, has a spending per resident of $44.58. The Brandon Township Library, with a population of 15,245, with a millage rate of 2.0, they did have an increase last August, up from 1.77, with a spending per resident of $60.91. The Orion Township Library, with a population of 35,394 and a millage rate of 1.4189, has a spending per resident of $68.74. The Clarkston Independence District Library, with a population of 35,563 and a millage rate of .691, has spending per resident of $29.20. So what is our mission? The Clarkston Independence District Library, our community's cornerstone of lifelong learning through innovation, education, and enrichment. What do we do? A lot. For students, we promote early literacy and school readiness. Every Friday during the school year, 5 classes of early 5 students visit the library for story time, to check out a book, to read at home using their very own library card. We provide educational resources so learning continues outside the classroom. After school, students use library computers and wireless access to complete assignments, borrow materials from our library and libraries across the state, and access our online databases round the clock from home using their library cards. Prevent Summer Slide. Our annual summer reading program keeps library users of all ages reading all summer long.
So do we have, so is that reading, that program for, we have it for children, and then we have the book clubs for.
Summer reading program, we go through adults.
Okay.
Yep, we have, for babies, we have the Read to Me program. For teenagers, we have a summer reading program as well, and then we have an adult summer reading bingo. And that's what Joan Patterson was talking about. She was, the optimists are supporting
Those
the
three
portion,
programs.
the portion of the program that goes from birth through teen.
Oh, through teen.
Through teen, yep. For families, we provide early literacy and school readiness resources, developmentally developed story times, assist parents in getting their children ready to read and learn in a structured environment. We enrich the community through family activities, family-friendly events such as the Teen Art Show, Whispering Pines Mobile Zoo, and Ring of Steel bring people together for enriching learning experiences. Access to a world of materials in a variety of formats. Whether you're traditional or techie, the library is a cost-effective way to share resources, both print and electronic, throughout the community. Learn and grow beyond formal education. Brush up on your computer skills with classes on PowerPoint and Excel. Strengthen your financial skills through investor education classes. Request materials from public or college libraries from any device with internet access using your library card. For seniors, training for the 21st century. Learn to use a computer, set up an email account, write a letter in Microsoft Word, search the internet, use Ancestry.com to research your family tree, download a book to your new Kindle. Whatever level you need, we have a computer class for you. Books to go, stuck at home after knee surgery, give us a call. We'll gather your favorite reading materials and deliver them to your door through a collaboration with the Senior Center. And this is for adults 18 and over, so it goes across the adult age span. Expand your mind. Learn about the new exhibit at the DIA. Share your latest travel adventure. Discuss a great novel or gather gardening tips. Programs at the library include a variety of topics. Having trouble with your computer? Need to use a computer? Use one at the library. Get online, print, check your email. If you get stuck, help is nearby. For businesses, access materials to start or grow a business in our resource center. Find information about business plans, sales strategies, marketing, social media, and more. A partnership with the Clarkston Area Chamber of Commerce keeps us current with business needs. Online resources are available 24/7. Use your library card to access databases of valuable information business owners can really use, including demographics about potential customers, learning a new language, legal resources, etc. Services that pull things together. Copy, print, or fax. Have a document notarized. Meet with a client in a study room or rent a larger room for an important meeting. The library can help your small business succeed. For everyone, innovation. By bringing tradition and technology together, the library is a learning center and gathering place that enhances quality living within the community. Education. The library provides a variety of resources for lifelong learning, from books to databases to downloadables to access to materials from across the state The library has what you need to keep learning at any age. Enrichment. Events and programs bring the community together to learn and grow. What is our vision? Bring our library up to current standards, expand the ebook collection to accommodate the demand of Kindle, Nook, and tablet users, expand collaborations with the schools, restore funding to the technology plan so the public computers can be replaced and updated, develop resources to help small local businesses succeed, expand children's programming, provide outreach, which is library programs beyond the library's walls, provide more classes and programs to promote lifelong learning, and develop and fund a capital improvement plan for the maintenance of a 20-year-old building. Still have questions? You can contact myself or Marilyn Pomeroy, who is the board president, at this contact information.
That's great, but are you expecting comments or questions? But that would be.
That would be the
okay.
place, yeah, they could contact either one of us. There may be questions right at the
But
beginning.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, there could be. I would be very surprised. There are a couple of board members that I'm sure, they always have questions. So I'd be shocked if we didn't get questions.
But in timing this, and Julie, of course, was more rapid than the presentation will actually be tomorrow night, was 6 minutes.
I was lickety split because you've all heard all this information before. It's more of a repurposing of a number of pieces that we've used. And
Julie, this is excellent. I think that the points that you did in the last few pages are really, really dynamic. I really think you're answering the questions that we had after the last one.
well, I tried to take that into consideration, and this really is to give credit where credit is due. Marilyn and Nikki both came in on Friday and assisted me in kind of reworking it and making sure that it was responsive to what we thought the people wanted to hear and what they needed to hear about the library and what it is that we do. So I really appreciated them doing that. I get kind of caught in a bubble. I do a lot of presentations, and I spend a lot of time talking about the library, and sometimes it's hard for me to weed out what's important and what's just extra static. So
Julie had done a lot of the groundwork, so just some tweaks.
Go back 2 slides.
Certainly.
I want to see something. What do you mean by current standards?
That would be our QSAC measures that we talked about when we were talking about the budget, the quality services audit checklist that compares public libraries to each other to kind of help us know where we stand. For example, our book budget, there's 3 levels in QSAC. There's essential, enhanced, and excellent. And we are at the essential level in so many places, and we would like to start looking at where we can become more enhanced or possibly even excellent in some areas.
And second question, in the area for businesses, I don't remember, did you mention something about offering like a place to hold meetings or something like that?
Mhm.
Okay.
The services that hold things together.
We get a lot of those calls. A lot of people call with small businesses that just want a one-on-one space where they can sit with a client. And the Chamber of Commerce is offering some of that, but then they only have 1 space, and we have 2 additional rooms, and they like the fact that if their space is taken, they can refer people here.
There's a lot of tutoring too that goes on.
Yep, those are very popular spaces. Very, very popular spaces. Anything that you would change? Any mistakes that you saw?
Unless you think that what he referred to that first, if you need to do a little more explanation of what that is.
Well, some of that we
current
plan to do,
standards.
like we're a Class 5 library, most people don't know what that is, so we'll say a little bit at that time about what that is.
Sure.
Right, and where do we stand now? Then we can say, there's these levels, and we are currently at the bottom level.
Right.
That's what I think they need
Since
to
there's
hear.
no PowerPoint, so that this is just what you're going to focus on, but you're going to expand on different things as you speak.
Depending where the interest is and
Sure.
where the questions come from.
And that's another question I have, is how much of this do we want to read to them?
The slide with all of the, like Brandon, Springfield Township with all the different libraries on there, I think maybe the time might be better spent just making a comment, pointing out the fact that attendance is at the bottom in millage and in spending per resident. Although you could read the whole thing, it seems like.
We can kind of play that by ear.
It is very
Maybe some of
valuable
it's
information, very powerful information. These are actually the new numbers. I'm sure some of you will notice it's different than what was on the brochures previously, and that is because we when I created the brochure for the village, we were at the tipping point between the previous census and the 2010 census. We are now under the 2010 census numbers, so our population increased. So did everybody else's. That changed everybody's numbers. And then, of course, Brandon increased their millage, so all of the numbers are different. It actually dragged our numbers down. We were at 33.95, and now we're at 29.20. So we've lost another almost $4 per resident. So
I think it's good to read it all personally, because I think that it's like bringing it home. Because otherwise you're just looking at a slide and I'm thinking about what I'm gonna get for my groceries and not necessarily paying attention.
It would make them focus on
Yeah.
which library should go.
Yeah.
Right, and we can comment on the fact that Springfield and Brandon, who are essentially about the same size, and then Orion and Clarkston are essentially the same size. So yes, we can do that.
What about repositioning where they are, like having Orion like next to, because I feel like they're like our comparable with size and like just a quick, and having Brandon and Springfield on adjacent, just to reorient. I don't know, because I really want them to notice the comparison to Orion, because their population size is the real
Almost
comparison.
exactly the same.
Right.
yeah, we actually have a few more residents than they do. But that wouldn't account for that huge difference.
Right.
No, no.
So Evan, are you talking about Springfield and then Brandon next to it?
Yeah.
Yes, I think like,
As opposed to running down the.
right, like a 2x2.
Can we fit that in, Julie?
It should be no problem to do that. I did it from smallest library to largest library, but it's absolutely not a problem to move them around. They're in little text boxes.
Okay.
So I
And
can
we
just
can,
slide
and it
them
would
over.
still be essentially that.
Oh, yeah.
Springfield first, then Brandon.
Yep.
Then Orion, then us.
So I can do Springfield, yeah, I think that's not a
If you
problem.
all think the same thing, I don't know, I just kind of think it would be easier for comparison, and make it easier to see how close, it makes a little more sense with the millage rates and the other townships, because they're much smaller and they have to pay more per resident, but with Orion, it's just.
Julie, those are all district libraries?
Actually, those other three libraries are PA 164s because they're only serving one community. We're the only district library in that bundle. Financially, it doesn't really make a difference, but name-wise it does, so.
I actually kind of like it in the row because it's clear, 44, 60, 68, 29. It jars you, and I don't think you're gonna be jarred as much if they're next to each other personally, but it's like adding it up. Oh, we're increasing, boop, boop, boop.
Maybe all those should be in red.
Can we make them numbered,
I like
so number
how you
4?
just have
Or bold all the spendings, so that you can,
Sure.
maybe, I don't know.
Sure.
I could do that.
Actually, that might be the thing to do.
Bold
the
spending per
spending
resident?
per resident.
Okay, I
I
can do
think you're
that.
right, I think we would distract.
Yeah.
When we were doing this slide for the presentations for the millage originally, it was suggested that I make our library red so that it popped.
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
Makes it seem like we're like redlining or
Yeah.
something.
Get your attention. I feel like that's
And then you
sometimes
go back and you've already read that 2920, I think, and then you go back up
Yeah.
and wow.
Can we make it bigger too? Make the
It has
numbers,
the screen.
I want it like
Yeah.
all,
Bigger and bolder.
This particular information has been through a number of incarnations. Yeah, it's not a problem to make changes to it, it's very easy to do. So what I'm hearing is you want it bigger and you want the spending per resident in bold.
sound like a bunch of elementary school students.
Bigger and bolder.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would make it pop more, you're
Yes.
absolutely right.
And anything that does that is
Okay, I can definitely do that. Those are easy changes. And then what I can do is, once you've approved that you like the presentation the way it is, I will change it to a PDF, and it will go onto the library board website as the packet for your special meeting. So it will be available to the public. And then I suspect after the meeting tomorrow night, the township board will request it. They'll probably want to put it on their website. I can do that as a PDF as well. But technically, it's a special meeting because it's a presentation, so it doesn't really have a packet per se, but I absolutely will post this presentation as what would essentially be the packet.
Are there any other questions, comments?
Spectacular.
Really well. So our focus right now is on what we're doing and what our vision is of what we would like to do. And Julie, would you leave that up a minute? I want to look at the pictures before we leave today.
Oh, certainly. Actually, I can put them up on the screen. The photo page is what you mean?
Yes, the photo
Okay.
page. So we don't need to talk about it at the moment, but I would like to look at that.
Okay.
Or the dog.
Well, just so that you have some ideas of what's up here, this is Neil Woodward. He's a Michigan storyteller and musician that we brought in a year or so ago. I think this is a beading class. This is the holiday book sale. That's a teen event up at the top. This is one of our Wee Wiggler story times. This is a kind of a meet and greet. These are the children coming in from Friday Friends. These are the kids that walk over from these are our early fives coming in. And we have 5 classes of those every Friday. 125 children tromp through our doors on Fridays to check out books. We did take it this way so that you couldn't recognize their faces. Otherwise, I would have taken a picture of them. They do self-check, which is so cute to watch them do that. The picture up the top is our Read to Pause program, where kids practice their read aloud skills. It is less intimidating for them to read to a dog than it is to read to an adult. And that's been a really successful program. We have a lot of people who absolutely love that. This is a magic program that we have. These are teens working after school in our teen computer lab. And then up in the corner, that is the art show. Try to find kind of a mix of things to put out there.
We should put a plug in for the art show too.
Oh,
Yes.
It is, this week's on Friday.
Yes.
It is on Friday. Maybe when they do their public announcements, I'll get them to remind everybody about the art show on Friday. So, if I forget, somebody give me a nudge.
Well, are you gonna go through and tell what the pictures are?
I'm thinking that maybe there might
I
be some
think
comment, there should be
that's
some
a good
commentary
idea.
on the pictures,
You
so.
know, Julie, I think you should talk about those because
Well, Marilyn's the one speaking, so
What?
Marilyn's going to do this.
I get to
Oh,
talk this
because
time,
most
unless
of
we have a
you
question.
don't really know, but this room right here was used for that memorial the other day. And you would not believe how many people I talked to who did not know all these things went on
Yeah.
in this room.
It's a busy room. It really is a busy room. Well, but it's a busy building all over. so,
Yes.
Yes, it's a very busy building.
Yes, so that's what I was thinking too, is it would be
Okay.
good to identify
Yep.
Yeah.
You're
what's
doing the
going
whole
on.
presentation?
What about copying this slide and making it the last slide after we do the questions? So that people can like look at the pictures when we're answering the questions.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
So we still have it here, and we can probably get rid of, so it's just like all the pictures right at the end, so people.
Yep, absolutely. And this is just a sampling. The page wasn't hardly big enough for all the pictures that we had.
Oh,
Pick and choose.
I'd like to see more and more people, because everyone's, you know, this shows how busy we are. Get out and make out.
There's no vote needed on this. Are those all the changes that you're thinking that you want on this? Okay, very good. I'm gonna go ahead and try. I'll leave it back to the
Thank you. Wonderful. Guys did a nice job. Oh, we have scoring. No, not yet.
All right, and so does this sound like an acceptable approach for tomorrow? Okay, and so I'm anticipating that at a slightly slower rate with a little more commentary. That's all right, that's all right. I just want to time it to see what we're talking about. So I'd say probably we're looking at 10, at a 10-minute group, unless if they have questions, a little longer, but. Right. So our focus is on what the library is currently doing in the community and our vision for the future. Good. Okay, all right. There are no other items on our agenda, so I will accept a motion for adjournment. So Allison moves. Anyone
Yes.
want
I'll
a
second
second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. We are adjourning at 6:34. 44.
Or 46.
Oh, excuse me, the glare is in my way. 6:44, 46, yes.